It was early spring in Willow Creek, a quiet town tucked between rolling hills and a river that sparkled like glass under the sun. The town had a reputation for being ordinary, the kind of place where news spread faster than the wind, and nothing ever seemed to change. But for Alex Harper, a reserved 19-year-old with a head full of sketches and half-finished stories, Willow Creek felt suffocating. Alex lived in a creaky old house with his aunt, Margaret, a stern woman who worked at the local library. She believed in discipline, early mornings, and silence during meals. Alex often felt invisible, reduced to a shadow drifting through routines. One Thursday afternoon, as Alex wandered home from his part-time job at the antique store, he spotted something unusual leaning against a pile of discarded furniture near the edge of town. A tall, ornate mirror, its frame carved with twisting vines and faded gold paint, shimmered strangely under the sunlight. Something about it tugged at him. Against his better judgment, Alex dragged the mirror home, ignoring the whispers of kids on bikes who teased him for rescuing trash. He placed it in the corner of his bedroom, covering half the peeling wallpaper. That night, unable to sleep, Alex sat staring at the mirror. At first, it only showed his tired reflection, a lanky boy with messy hair and clothes that never seemed to fit right. But as the clock ticked past midnight, the glass flickered. For just a moment, Alex saw someone else staring back, someone who looked like him but softer, brighter, someone he instantly recognized as the version of himself he had only ever drawn in secret. He stumbled back, heart racing. The reflection didn't fade. Instead, it raised its hand and pressed its palm against the glass, urging him closer. Alex whispered into the dark room. "Who are you?" The reflection smiled faintly. The lips moved, but no sound came. Still, Alex understood. Deep down, he had always known. The mirror wasn't just reflecting him. It was showing him who he could be. The next morning, Alex woke with a start. His room looked the same, clothes scattered, sketchbooks stacked on the desk, the mirror still leaning in the corner, but something felt off. He rubbed his eyes and froze. His hair. It looked longer. Not by much, but enough that it brushed the collar of his shirt in a way it hadn't the night before. He rushed to the bathroom, flicked on the harsh light, and stared. The difference was subtle, softer skin, a faint curve at his jawline that hadn't been there yesterday. When he returned to his room, the mirror seemed to glow faintly. He stepped closer, heart hammering. The reflection wasn't copying him this time. Instead, it tilted its head playfully, as if teasing him. Then it mouthed words he couldn't hear until suddenly he could. A faint whisper echoed in his head. "You're closer than you think." Alex stumbled back. "Closer to what?" he whispered. The reflection smiled, reaching toward the glass again. Against his own fear, Alex lifted his hand. The moment their fingertips touched, the surface rippled like water. A warmth spread through him, not frightening, but comforting, as though the mirror was peeling away layers he had been forced to carry for years. Suddenly, his bedroom door creaked. "Alex," Aunt Margaret's voice. Panicked, Alex yanked his hand away. The mirror's glow vanished instantly, returning to plain glass. His reflection looked normal again, tired, nervous, and very much the same. Margaret peered in. "Breakfast. Don't be late." Alex nodded quickly, shoving his sketchbook over the corner of the mirror to hide it. As the door clicked shut, he exhaled shakily. But even with the mirror silent again, his thoughts weren't. The whisper lingered in his chest like a heartbeat. That day at the antique store, Alex couldn't focus. Customers asked about old clocks, porcelain figurines, and rare books, but all he could think about was what the mirror had shown him. Every time he passed a reflective surface, the glass display case, a polished teapot, the store's window, he half expected that other version of himself to appear. By evening, when he returned home, he no longer felt like a stranger in his own skin. He felt like a traveler standing at the edge of something unknown. Back in his room, the mirror was waiting. And this time, Alex didn't hesitate. That night, Alex sat on his bed, sketchbook open on his lap. He wasn't drawing the usual dragons or comic-style characters. Instead, He was sketching the reflection he had seen, the softer version of himself with bright, knowing eyes. The more he drew, the more real it felt, as if the pencil itself remembered details his mind couldn't quite grasp. When the clock struck midnight, a hush fell over the house. Even the usual creaks of the old wood floors seemed to vanish. Alex turned toward the mirror. It was glowing again. This time, the reflection didn't wait. She smiled, not timid, not hesitant, but confident. And then, the whisper returned. "Come closer. Step through." Alex's breath caught. Step through? That's impossible. But as he approached, the glass shimmered and rippled again, like a pond in the moonlight. His chest tightened, half in fear, half in anticipation. Slowly, he reached out with his hand. The surface gave way, soft, warm, pulling him in. He gasped. The room dissolved around him, and suddenly, Alex was standing in a strange, misty place that looked like his bedroom but wasn't. The colors were muted, everything faintly glowing. And there she was. The reflection no longer trapped in the glass, but standing before him. She was his height, his build, yet different. Her hair framed her face in waves, her clothes fit effortlessly, her eyes alive with certainty. She looked like Alex's secret drawings come to life. "You're me," Alex whispered. She tilted her head. "I'm who you've always been. The part you kept hidden." Alex's knees went weak. But how? Why no? The figure stepped closer, placing a hand on his arm. Her touch was real. Warm. Because you finally looked. Really looked. The mirror doesn't create. It reveals. Alex's throat tightened. For years, he had buried these feelings, disguised them under baggy clothes and silence. Now, standing in front of this version of himself, he couldn't deny it. But what happens if I step fully in? He asked, trembling. Her smile deepened, equal parts kind and mischievous. Then you'll see what freedom feels like. The mist swirled around them, as if waiting for his choice. Alex's heart pounded. This wasn't just a reflection anymore, it was an invitation. The mist curled tighter, wrapping Alex in a silvery haze that prickled across his skin. His reflection, no, his other self, extended her hand again. "Just one step," she whispered. "One step, and you'll know." Alex hesitated. His whole life had been careful, keeping quiet, keeping hidden, keeping safe. But here, in this place, rules didn't feel the same. He took her hand. The moment their fingers locked, a shiver ran through him. The air thickened, and light spilled from the ground, curling upward like vines of energy. Alex gasped as his body began to shift, clothes clinging differently, hair lengthening across his shoulders, features softening as though sculpted by invisible hands. He stumbled, but his other self caught him. "Breathe. Don't fight it." Alex's pulse thundered. He raised trembling hands to his face, brushing against unfamiliar contours. His reflection, now his mirror double, guided him toward a pool of shimmering glass in the air. "Look," she urged. Alex leaned in. Staring back was someone both familiar and impossibly new, a girl with wide, astonished eyes, delicate features, and hair framing her face in waves. She looked exactly like the sketches, exactly like the hidden daydreams Alex had locked away. I can't believe this," Alex whispered, voice higher, softer. "You've always believed it," the reflection corrected gently. "You just never thought you deserved to see it." Tears stung Alex's eyes. The weight of years of silence, of hiding, of pretending seemed to lift. For the first time, he wasn't looking at a mask. He was looking at herself. But before the relief could fully sink in, the mist rippled sharply. A low hum filled the air. The reflection's smile faltered. "We don't have long," she said quickly. "Every crossing has rules. The mirror gives, but it also takes. If you stay too long without balance, the worlds will notice." Alex's chest tightened. "What does that mean?" Her grip tightened around his wrist. "It means someone or something is going to try and stop you." The mist around them began to swirl violently, shadows flickering at the edges. The safe, glowing haze twisted into stormy darkness. Alex clutched her hand tighter, terrified. "What do I do?" The reflection leaned close, her voice urgent. Wake up before they catch us. Alex woke with a gasp. His bedroom ceiling loomed overhead, cracked plaster and the faint tick of his old wall clock. For a moment, he wondered if it had all been a dream, the mist, the other self, the transformation. But then he sat up. His hair spilled over his shoulders in soft waves. His face felt different, lighter somehow, and when he touched his throat, his voice trembled higher than before. His heart stuttered. This wasn't a dream. Pieces of the mirror's world had followed him home. He scrambled to the mirror. At first, it showed only his familiar room, the desk stacked with sketches, the curtains half drawn. But when his eyes adjusted, he caught it, faint outlines in the glass, like shadows moving behind a curtain. The reflection of the girl from last night flickered for an instant before fading. Alex whispered, "You left me like this." The glass pulsed once, as if answering. A knock startled him. "Alex," Aunt Margaret's voice. "It's late. You'll miss your shift at the shop." Alex panicked. His hands fumbled for a hoodie, pulling it over his head, yanking the hood low to cover the hair. "Coming," he croaked and froze. The sound was different. Not deep and tired, but softer, almost melodic. Margaret lingered outside the door. "Everything all right?" "Yes," Alex blurted, forcing his voice lower, straining against the change. "I'm fine." Her footsteps retreated. Alex slumped in relief, chest pounding. He grabbed his sketchbook, flipping through pages filled with secret drawings of his hidden self. Now those drawings weren't just fantasy. They were becoming real. At the antique store, Alex kept his hood on, avoiding stares. But the old owner, Mr. Whitlock, squinted at him. "You look different today," he muttered, adjusting his glasses. "Almost didn't recognize you." Alex forced a laugh, fumbling for an excuse. "Didn't sleep much." But all day, every reflective surface betrayed him. In the glass display case, he saw flashes of his softened face. In the brass teapot, long strands of hair shimmered. Even in the window, the girl's eyes blinked back instead of his own. By the time he trudged home, Alex was shaking. He shut his door, pulled down the hood, and stared into the mirror again. This time, his reflection didn't hesitate. She was there, fully her, fully him, yet apart. "You see now," she whispered. "The veil isn't closed. Pieces of me are bleeding into you." Alex swallowed hard. But what if someone notices? What if they find out? Her eyes darkened. Someone already will. The mirror isn't just a gift. It's a beacon. And beacons attract attention. The room grew colder. In the mirror's corner, a dark ripple spread, not her reflection this time, but something else. Watching. Waiting.